Job, chapter 17. My spirit is broken. My days are extinct. The graveyard is ready for me. Surely there are mockers about me, and my eye dwells on their provocation. Lay down a pledge for me with you. Who is there who will put up security for me? Since you have closed their hearts to understanding, therefore you will not let them triumph. He who informs against his friends to get a share of their property, the eyes of his children will fail. He has made me a byword of the peoples, and I am one before whom men spit. My eye has grown dim from vexation, and all my members are like a shadow. The upright are appalled at this, and the innocent stirs himself up against the godless. Yet the righteous holds to his way, and he who has clean hands grows stronger and stronger. But you, come on again, all of you, and I shall not find a wise man among you. My days are past, my plans are broken off, the desires of my heart. They make night into day. The light, they say, is near to the darkness. If I hope for Sheol as my house, if I make my bed in darkness, if I say to the pit, you are my father, and to the worm, my mother or my sister, where then is my hope? Who will see my hope? Will it go down to the bars of Sheol? Shall we descend together into the dust? Chapter 18. Then Bildad the Shuhite answered and said, How long will you hunt for words? Consider, and then we will speak. Why are we counted as cattle? Why are we stupid in your sight? You who tear yourself in your anger, shall the earth be forsaken for you, or the rock be removed out of its place? Indeed, the light of the wicked is put out, and the flame of his fire does not shine. The light is dark in his tent, and his lamp above him is put out. His strong steps are shortened, and his own schemes throw him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walks on its mesh. A trap seizes him by the heel, a snare holds him fast. A noose is hidden for him on the ground, a trap lies in his path. Terrors startle him on every side, and dog his every step. Calamity is hungry for him, disaster is ready for him when he falls. It eats away parts of his skin, death's firstborn devours his limbs. He is torn from the security of his tent, and marched off to the king of terrors. Fire resides in his tent, burning sulfur is scattered over his dwelling. His roots dry up below, and his branches wither above. The memory of him perishes from the earth. He has no name in the land. He is driven from light into the realm of darkness, and is banished from the world. He has no offspring or descendants among his people, no survivor where once he lived. People of the West are appalled at his fate. Those of the East are seized with horror. Surely such is the dwelling of an evil man. Such is the place of one who does not know God. Chapter 19. Then Job replied, How long will you torment me and crush me with your words? 10 times now you have reproached me. Shamelessly you attack me. If it is true that I have gone astray, my error remains my concern alone. If indeed you would exalt yourselves above me, and use my humiliation against me, then know that God has wronged me, and drawn his net around me. Though I cry, violence, I get no response. Though I call for help, there is no justice. He has blocked my way so I cannot pass. He has shrouded my paths in darkness. He has stripped me of my honor, and removed the crown from my head. He tears me down on every side till I am gone. He uproots my hope like a tree. His anger burns against me. He counts me among his enemies. His troops advance in force. They build a siege ramp against me, and encamp around my tent. He has alienated my family from me. My acquaintances are completely estranged from me. My relatives have gone away. My closest friends have forgotten me. My guests and my female servants count me a foreigner. They look on me as on a stranger. I summon my servant, but he does not answer, though I beg him with my own mouth. My breath is offensive to my wife, and I am loathsome to my own brothers. Even young children despise me. I stand up, and they speak against me. All my associates loathe me, and those I love have turned against me. My bone clings to my skin and my flesh, and I have escaped only by the skin of my teeth. Pity me, you friends of mine, for the hand of God has struck me. Why do you persecute me as God does, and are not satisfied with my flesh? Oh, that my words were written! Oh, that they were recorded in a book! That with an iron stylus and lead they were engraved in the rock forever. Yet as for me, I know that my Redeemer lives, and at the last he will take his stand on the earth. Even after my skin is destroyed, yet from my flesh I will see God, whom I, on my part, shall behold for myself, and whom my eyes will see, and not another. My heart faints within me. If you say, "How shall we persecute him?" and "What pretext for a case against him can we find?" then be afraid of the sword for yourselves, for wrath brings the punishment of the sword, so that you may know there is judgment. Chapter 20. Then Zophar the Naamathite responded, "Therefore, my disquieting thoughts make me respond, even because of my inward agitation. I listened to the reprimand which insults me, and the spirit of my understanding makes me answer. Do you know this from ancient times, from the establishment of mankind on the earth, that the rejoicing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the godless momentary? Though his arrogance reaches the heavens, and his head touches the clouds, he perishes forever like his refuse. Those who have seen him will say, 'Where is he?' He flies away like a dream, and they cannot find him. Like a vision of the night, he is chased away. The eye which saw him sees him no longer, and his place no longer beholds him. His sons favor the poor, and his hands give back his wealth. His bones are full of his youthful strength, but it lies down with him in the dust. Though evil tastes sweet in his mouth, and he hides it under his tongue, though he desires it and will not let it go, but holds it in his mouth, yet his food in his stomach is changed to the venom of cobras within him. He swallows riches, but will vomit them up. God will expel them from his belly. He sucks the poison of cobras. The viper's tongue kills him. He does not look at the streams, the rivers flowing with honey and curds. He returns the product of his labor and cannot swallow it. As to the riches of his trading, he cannot even enjoy them, for he has oppressed and neglected the poor. He has seized a house which he has not built. Because he knew no quiet within him, he does not retain anything he desires. Nothing remains for him to devour. Therefore, his prosperity does not endure. In the fullness of his excess, he will be cramped. The hand of everyone who suffers will come against him. When he fills his belly, God will send his fierce anger on him and rain it on him while he is eating. He may flee from the iron weapon, but the bronze bow will pierce him. It is drawn and comes out of his back, even the flashing point from his gallbladder. Terrors come upon him. Complete darkness is held in reserve for his treasures, and unfanned fire will devour him. It will consume the survivor in his tent. The heavens will reveal his guilt, and the earth will rise up against him. The increase of his house will disappear. His possessions will flow away on the day of his anger. This is a wicked person's portion from God, the inheritance decreed to him by God. Chapter 21. Then Job responded, "Listen carefully to my speech, and let this be your way of consolation. Bear with me that I may speak. Then after I have spoken, you may mock me. As for me, is my complaint to a mortal? Or why should I not be impatient? Look at me and be astonished, and put your hand over your mouth. Even when I remember, I am disturbed, and horror takes hold of my flesh. Why do the wicked still live, grow old, and also become very powerful? Their descendants endure with them in their sight, and their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear, and the rod of God is not on them. His ox mates without fail, his cow calves and does not miscarry. They send out their boys like the flock, and their children dance. They sing with the tambourine and harp, and rejoice at the sound of the flute. They spend their days in prosperity, and suddenly they go down to Sheol. Yet they say to God, 'Go away from us. We do not even desire the knowledge of your ways. Who is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what would we gain if we plead with him?' Behold, their prosperity is not in their hand. The advice of the wicked is far from me. How often is the lamp of the wicked put out? Or does their disaster fall on them? Does God apportion destruction in his anger? Are they as straw before the wind, and like chaff which the storm carries away? You say, 'God saves up a person's wrongdoing for his sons.' Let God repay him so that he may know it. Let his own eyes see his destruction, and let him drink of the wrath of the Almighty. For what does he care about his household after him, when the number of his months is at an end? But who can teach a lesson to God, since he judges even the most powerful? One person dies in prosperity, completely comfortable and secure, the picture of good health, vigorous and fit. Another person dies in bitter poverty, never having tasted the good life. But both are buried in the same dust, both eaten by the same maggots. Look, I know what you're thinking. I know the schemes you plot against me. You will tell me of rich and wicked people whose houses have vanished because of their sins. But ask those who have been around, and they will tell you the truth. Evil people are spared in times of calamity, and are allowed to escape disaster. No one criticizes them openly or pays them back for what they have done. When they are carried to the grave, an honor guard keeps watch at their tomb. A great funeral procession goes to the cemetery. Many pay their respects as the body is laid to rest, and the earth gives sweet repose. How can your empty cliches comfort me? All your explanations are lies.